Oh, here we go. I got a clip that might make a couple people mad right here, and then we're gonna go to David.
Steve, you and I just have to say in passing, you and I have spent our adult lives warning about rising deficits, rising debt. There have been many progressive economists saying that we were chicken littles, saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling. This is what we've been warning of. This is what happens. I was wondering why it was taking so long, but you flood the economy with too much money, with too much government debt, with too many, too many government programs, too much deficit spending. This is exactly what happens. And my God, I just wonder what would have happened if progressives had gotten their $6 trillion wish earlier this year.
Yeah, in an ironic way, you almost have to thank Joe Manchin for blocking that, because $6.5 trillion of spending in this economy would make these numbers look small. Yeah, look, we had a huge budget deficit. We had an unbelievably aggressive reaction by the Fed to the pandemic. You can kind of understand why they were trying, but they just tried too hard. And now we're all going to pay the consequences in a very, very tough environment over the next year or two while this gets sorted out.
By the way, I wouldn't even say ironically thank Joe Manchin. You can just thank Joe Manchin if you're glad that interest rates aren't even higher.
About that clip.
It always baffles my mind that people get paid so much to do so little thinking. Like, I couldn't imagine showing up to like a college discussion, never having read the textbook, not having any concept or understanding of the subject matter, but then walking in as if I have a PhD. And it blows my mind that like nothing, first of all, if you want to critique a progressive economic agenda, why not have someone who actually believes in it on there so you can actually debate and go back and forth? It's because you don't have any strong talking points. Exactly. But what really gets me is that people will be so blinded by their ideology that they refuse to do the investigative work to actually see. It's like one onion skin says, oh, this is something that goes with my ideology, so discard the rest of everything else. And it's like infuriating, because unfortunately, millions of people watch this garbage and think this is the intelligent decision. I'm like, so magically you guys just don't get any of the information about price gouging. You guys just magically don't understand how certain industries are bottlenecked. Magically, you guys don't understand that we deficit spend already. It's something that we do. You magically don't understand that federal spending is not like state or local spending, where you don't actually, literally when we're taxing people, it's accounting measures. Destroy the money that we're doing, and then we can print the money for things that we need. It's all about, do you have the material resources to actually source said things you want to fund? But no, that's never the conversation. And I'm like, when I see things, I think my interest has always been media and communication. So I'm sorry for this rant. Like, that actually really pissed me off. I was not expecting that. Like, I'm always curious, like, without abolishing the entire thing as is, what is the answer? Because I'm like, as long as you have a profit incentive, stuff like this is going to happen. Yes, you have one-offs like, Breaking Points and different people who have an ecosystem, that's great. I think it's wonderful. And I'm like, CNN and MSNBC, you have the resources to actually go further than a lot of these people do in terms of your investigative work and your journalism. You just don't have the appetite or the interest. It's not something you want to do. So at this point, I'm like, abolish cable news, like abolish for-profit news. I just feel like they'll probably clip this, what if I ever run for something? But like, at this point in my life, it's just like, abolish all of it, because it's garbage. And I'm just like, genuinely baffled that these people are considered like serious people.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that when I watched the Bernie, did you hear about the Bernie Sanders Lindsey Graham debate day?
So I didn't know about that. So I just saw the clip right before. So I was like, I have to watch that. That pissed me off too. So I was actually I was ready for that one. And I was like,
you can find it on my Odyssey page, because I had to pay Fox Nation just for 1 month. It was $1. I know. I'm going to cancel immediately. And it was actually a good hour debate. It's definitely a clinic on the Lindsey Graham side on how to, dodge questions and how to just try to keep going back to your points, talking points. But Bernie Sanders, he had the usual talking points as well. He definitely called out Lindsey Graham. That was one of my clips that's on the channel where he called him establishment. And I liked how he went straight to him. I wish he would did that with Biden, actually, and just called him straight establishment. He might have been president at this point.
Listen,
But,
so that's my question, because he's good at it when it's not somebody he's affable to.
Yeah.
He tends to be able to go for the jugular. Because I'm like, to be honest, everything that Lindsey Graham said is completely dismantleable. Like, you can just go through the list and call all that out. So I hope he did that.
Bendo, you had something to say?
Actually, what was the debate for? Like, did I?
No, it was just a debate. It was just a Lindsey Graham. It's something that I wish would happen more, but on like, you know, in public. Like,
But for fun?
It was kind of like, I think it was to promote. I mean, Bernie wasn't there to promote Fox Nation, but I'm sure they took advantage of that part of it. But they should have this on like a Channel 5, Channel 11 public.
Bernie's good. Bernie's good at reaching out. You know,
Yeah,
it makes sense. But I wanted to point out John's comment. It said in 2008 it was okay because we bailed out Wall Street, but this time around it's bad because it went directly to people. So
Exactly.
you know, that's one of the things. Another thing I wanted to point out, you know, they were saying about, you know, it's really that they don't know. Well, there's two things. One is that they know, but you know, it's convenient to lie. You know, they want to push the agenda to keep the status quo going and blame it on helping people and just say, you know, tax us. But the other thing is, I was trying to look it up because you heard of imposter syndrome, but there's the other one called Dunning-Kruger effect. So it's like these people that are the dumbest, they're the most confident about their wrong takes. It's like when you're wrong and strong, that's these people. So they just stupid, don't know better, but they're just so confident about it. Meanwhile, the people that know better, you know, they always want to, they don't want to exaggerate. They want to make sure, you know, they got those ducks in a row. And that's why sometimes, you know, the progressives, you know, we don't come out as forceful. We don't, the people don't, you know, we're not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but not spicy enough. You know what I mean? But these people are spicy. They just blame it on everything. They use strong, you know, wrong and strong.
Yeah. So before I let Dave go, thank you so much for jumping in here. No, I know you got to do your homework and watch the debrief at 8:30 for the next show. But I want to just remind people what was in the Build Back Better that, you know, Joe Scarborough and this other guy was complaining about. They had 4 weeks of paid family medical leave. They had extended Affordable Care Act subsidies, among with a whole bunch. I remember they had child care, daycare for the children. They had a whole bunch of great things that extended tax credits that we really needed. And they said they would cause inflation while they're not going after, you know, Bernie talked about it in his debate, how the gas companies are getting they're due for record profits next quarter because they've been price gouging us. That's the real reason. So thanks Dave for coming on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Y'all be blessed.
All right.